going on, everybody? Today I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to take apart or disassemble and rebuild a HR carb. This is an HR 17C model. I have this on my 335 single, and it runs great. This was a carb that was just given to me, for spare parts. Carb flange and stuff like that, the throttle and everything. So I'm going to teach you guys how to take them apart and show you the adjustments, and yeah, so let's get into it. So when you're taking these apart, all you really need is a flat blade screwdriver. Most of all the screws on here are flat blade screws. So as you can see, this one was junk, so that's why she is a practice carb for me. So first thing you're going to want to do is start removing all these screws out of your plates here. Now, these plates, they cause suction, how much gas is going through. That's just kind of how they built them back then. So, let you know when I get these all out. Alright, got the screws out. Now you're going to want to get a container or something to put your screws in so they don't sneak away on you, and then your plates will just come off. There are set pins in here, and they only go on one way, so you don't really have to worry about getting them mixed up. So I just usually set them down right in here. And now here is the inside of your carb. These are your two Welsh plugs, here and here. This is your needle in your seat, and this is a jet down in here, or your seat, I guess, for your needle. So you're just going to want to take this screw out right here. You're just going to want to take this screw out. And there's a spring under there, so just be careful with that. Shouldn't spring out, but take our screw out, set it in there, and then this should just come right out. I'll take a pair of pliers and very lightly pull your needle out. Now you're going to want to take your 5/16 and pop it in there, and then break this free. Now that your seat, just take that out and hold it up to the light and make sure there's no gunk in there. Put that in your tray. Now, for these Welsh plugs, what I usually do, so I take a little drill and I drill two little holes, and I'll drill a hole in each one, and then take a pick and pry them out. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have any new ones to put in here. Oh, almost forgot. There is a brass washer at the bottom of there. Get that out of there. Almost forgot about that. Now, as far as your high and low adjustments go, you want to take those out too. There's our high. There should be a rubber seal on the outside of that. What I usually do with these is soak them in Vaseline, or just let them sit in a tub of Vaseline for a little bit, and they soften up, or run them under hot water. Now onto the low. And there is your low adjustment. You can see the difference in sizes between the two. That's your idle and that's your driving, so big difference there. Now I'm getting this out. So to get this out, it's actually pretty simple. There's a screw here, two screws in there. So what you want to start with is getting those two screws out. Now that your screws are removed, you're going to want to tip this wide open. Then take your pliers and pull that slide out. Now with that out, we can get to removing the shaft. So guys, to remove the shaft, all you got to do is back this screw out, and then this clip will fall off. Alright, so you take this bolt out. There's a miniature lock washer on the end, and then this clip here should just you put a little pressure on the end. That clip will come right off, and then wiggle that a little bit because that spring's charged up, so there's pressure on there. Let that spring unwind. When I put those back on, I usually put it on like that and turn it around twice so that it has proper snapback. But when you take these out, just let it unwind. Boom. There you go. And that's it. That's pretty much the whole disassembly of the carb besides the Welsh plugs. I'm going to run up and grab the kit, and I'm just going to grab one of my old kits that I took out and put it in this one, and just for an example for you guys. So I'll be right back. Alright, here's my kit. I recommend the Tillison kits, you know, because Tillison carburetor, Tillison kit, they know what they're doing. Don't buy those cheap. They're expensive. This kit was about 35 bucks, but it's worth it. You never have to rebuild the carb again. It comes with Welsh plugs, new needle and seat. It comes with everything that you need to rebuild this thing. So, and they last long. They have quality gaskets in them and everything. So, teach you guys how to put these back together. Okay, so rebuilding. So, first thing you're going to want to do is get your new needle and seat and everything. I'm not going to put this one in because I have one already. But, so first thing you're going to want to do is put your brass washer down in there. And then you're going to want to set your jet back in there. Screw that back in. And don't over tighten these. They don't need to be, you know, crazy tight, just snug like that until you can't spin it anymore. Then take your needle, plop it down in there. Then take this, set your spring, and set that down in there like so. Now take your screw, take your screw and just set it in there. Again, just don't tighten these too much, just snug them, you know. You don't want to strip them out because then you're really screwed. So that should move freely and your needle will be free. So now, you want to take your first gasket and place it down. Now, sometimes these only go on one way. So sometimes you got to flip them around to get them to align right. Try different holes. Sometimes it takes a second. But after a little while, you'll get it in there the right way. Like that. That looks about right. So now, your diaphragm. Now this right here is what actually sucks your fuel. So that, you're just going to lay down right like that. Then, you're going to take your plate and set your plate down. Same thing, might take a second to figure out which way this goes on. And no. There. Now, we want to put these ones on. So, this gasket first. The only ones I ever have trouble figuring out which way it goes on is the diaphragm. These ones are pretty easy to figure out because they only go on, like I said, one way earlier in the video. I said they pretty much go on one way. Then, your plate. Gasket. Other way. Other gasket. Son of a bitch. There we go. And now, your bottom plate. No, your bottom plate. Now we're gonna get all those screws set back in. Now with all the screws back in, we're gonna go and snug them down. So, okay, so getting this back in is actually fairly easy. Just start wiggling and turning, and that'll get in there. Now take your spring. Oh, actually one turn should be fine. And then just push it in there, and it's set in there. Now, take your clip and pop it back in. And tighten your screw back in. Okay, so that's in, that's working. Now you just got to get that this little disc in there, which this can kind of be a pain because it doesn't particularly fit all the way in there, you know. It's the exact size. So sometimes you got to put it in at different angles and wiggle it in there, but it goes in eventually, so cut it in when you get to that. Okay, so now that you have that in, you just want to get these two screws back in there, down there now, so. Alright, we got our screws in. And she is working. So, got one last step. Excuse me, we got two more steps. Just gotta get these high and low adjustments in, and I will show you how I adjust them and what I usually have them adjusted at, so. Okay, so now with the high and low adjustments all the way in, so for the high, I usually do 2 3/4 of a turn. So there's 1, there's 2, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, and then just 3/4 of a turn for your low. So just 3/4 for your low. So there's 1/2, 3/4. And that should be adjustment. You'll have to go further in the detail depending on how cold it is in your area or how warm it is. So, but that's usually what I start out with, and then just get one of these screw-in filters. And there you have it. There is your carb. The only thing I am missing out of this carburetor is the choke. I don't know where it is or if I even have it anywhere, but that is how to properly rebuild and clean your carb, your HR carbs for your old Tillison carburetors. I hope this helped, and yeah, give me your feedback on if it worked or not. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.